the chances of you being able to lose 53 pounds or more is very, very high. Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching Healthy Alternative. Are you ready? Because today we're going to be talking about how to lose 53 pounds in 1 month. Okay, we got a lot to get through, so I want everybody to listen up, get your pen and paper ready. We're going to get into this, how to lose 53 pounds in 1 month. Now, this is not for the faint of heart. This is a regimen that is designed for those of you who have probably about 100 pounds to lose. The more you have to lose, the better results. The less you have to lose, you will lose less weight, okay? However, for those of you who are sitting around that 100-pound mark or, close, maybe 80 pounds or so, you have the opportunity to lose a tremendous amount of weight using this protocol, and it's called the DR96. And what we're going to be talking about is our first dry fasting technique, but we're going to couple it with a rolling cycle. So similar to our R72, where we would do 3 days of water fasting, this steps it up a couple of notches. Not only are we going to up the time on our fasting cycle, we're going to also up the type of fast that we're doing. Now, as many of you guys already know, we have seen incredible results with our R72. People typically lose anywhere from 28 to 35 pounds in a month using that protocol. So you could see where if you change it to dry fasting and just increase the amount of time you put each week towards the fast, how you can easily bump up your weight loss. So I did a video previously talking about dry fasting, how to perform it, and I want you guys to go and check that video out to make sure that you have all of the information. I'm going to briefly go over some of the tools and things you need, as well as briefly go over the prep, but I do want you guys to go check that video out so that you can get all the information you need to make this successful. So just to get started off, the preparation, you guys can go to ahealthyalternative.org. You put your email in to our free subscription. It's like a newsletter, and we will send you our 7-day prep guide. That 7-day prep guide is what you're going to use to prepare you for this DR96. What I do not want to hear is that you guys are jumping out doing any dry fasting whatsoever, whether it's 1 day or 4 days, without doing proper preparation. That becomes very dangerous. So go and get the guide first. That's going to walk you through the preparation steps. I broke down the steps a little bit more in the previous video, which I will be linking either in the description box, comment section, or it'll be at the end of this video, probably all three places. And that way you guys can go check that video out. But your preparation for a dry fast always has to hinge on hydration. And it's crazy because I've been putting out videos about hydration since the brand started, but recently I've been getting some weird comments about hydration, almost as if people don't really understand hydration and the importance of it from a scientific standpoint. I'm going to break down 2 different ways that the body hydrates based on different scenarios. There's more. I'm not saying these are the only 2 ways, but these are kind of the 2 that are going to be important to us. So first of all, the traditional thinking is that you get hydration through drinking water. That's true, but it's also not true. You can get hydration just by, getting a glass of water and drinking it from the tap. However, that comes with a plethora of issues and concerns. Number one, your body's only going to absorb about 3% of the water you drink. Okay. Number two, the water that you're drinking, it's going to, especially if it comes from like the tap or something like that, the body has to also worry about all of the contamination coming along with that water. So water that comes out of a tap or even a bottle of water, it's what's called bulk water. It means the water molecule size is big and bulky. That means that it cannot absorb readily into the human cells. So what the body has to do is restructure the water, reduce those water clusters, make them smaller so that it can be absorbed properly into the cell. And if you're already in a lowered state because of diet, lifestyle, disease in the body just doesn't do that very efficiently. So we want to help the body. So what we do is we want to give it structured water off the bat. You can call it structured water. You could call it H3O2. You can call it There's many different names for it, but it's basically water that the cells use, or cellular water. Now, you can get this from fruits and plants and vegetables, any greenery, and you can get it either by eating like a whole fruit, or you can get it by slicing up some whole fruit and letting it cold steep in your water for about 4 hours. That's a good period of time. Another way we talk about how you can, restructure your water is by adding chia seeds to the water. Just simply a small sprinkle of chia seeds in 16 ounces of water. Give it about 7 minutes, and that will help to hydrate you way better than just simply not doing that or drinking from the tap. Now, when it comes to dry fasting, the body does actually hydrate even though you're dry fasting. You have to think about what the fat cells are made up of. When we think about inflammation in the body, these are all sources of water. So the body can actually, as it starts to break down the fat, as it starts to reduce inflammation, it will pull those from those water sources. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why dry fasting is so powerful is because it will pull from your inflammation to use as a water source, thus reducing the inflammation in the body. As a bonus, this water is already structured. It's already cellular water, so no new work needs to be done in order to make this water usable by the body. So not only does the body get water from the fat cells as it starts to break that down, but also if you think about breathing in oxygen and mixing with the hydrogen that's available in your body, the body will start to actually manufacture water internally as well. So I actually got a question. I don't know if it was in our challenge, our most recent challenge, but somebody was asking about Matthew's video. We just did an interview with Matthew. He lost 180 pounds, and they were asking how he was able to gain weight while he was fasting. And one of the reasons why you're able to gain weight while you're fasting is because the body does have the ability to manufacture liquids internally. So this is one of the proofs that, what we're talking about makes sense, and it actually does happen in the body. Now, with that being said, we don't really need to worry about the mechanics of all of that. Our job is to give the body the resources it needs ahead of time, so that when we start doing our dry fasting, we will have all the tools that we need. Okay? So during your prep week, you're going to focus heavily on hydrating the body. I do recommend a gallon of water a day, and I also recommend starting with a distilled water base. I know that is controversial for some reason, but distilled water does not leach vital minerals from your system. What it does leach is inorganic minerals. So for those of you who have ever dealt with any kind of crystals in your system, whether it's crystals in the bladder or crystals in the kidney or crystals in your gallbladder or wherever the crystals might form, distilled water will actually help to break that stuff down and leach that inorganic material out of your system. So it's a great benefit. I've been drinking distilled water for about 7 years now. Absolutely no issues there. During the prepping phase, as well as when you are not fasting, there's a couple tools I want you all to utilize. Now, you don't have to do these 100%, right? If you don't have the money or if you don't have the resources to get these tools, you can still see amazing results without them. However, if you have the extra coin, I highly recommend these two very specific tools. Number one, I want you all to get a castor pack, okay? The castor pack is going to aid greatly in the detox symptoms. So when you start doing these very intense fasting techniques, you lose weight faster, you reverse disease faster, but you also experience more intense detox symptoms. And especially with fasting, the detox symptoms are unlike what you would experience with water fasting. So in order to help prepare your system for detoxification, we want to revitalize the liver as much as possible. So the castor pack, just simply take a tablespoon of your castor oil, you spread it on the pack, and you put the pack above where your liver will be located. And overnight, I want you guys to sleep with it every night. Overnight, that castor oil will penetrate the system and the organs, and it will start to bust up any gunk and sludge and help the liver flush. That way, the liver performs more optimally when you're doing your dry fasting. I don't personally recommend doing the liver packs or the castor packs when you're doing the dry fasting itself. Not because I know it's dangerous, but because I haven't personally tested it, and so I don't feel comfortable recommending it. If you guys want to test that out, you can if you want to, but you have to be very careful to listen to your body and make sure you don't do anything. You don't want to overdo it. This is already a pretty aggressive strategy. The other thing I want you guys to get your hands on is a bottle of Clean Slate. Clean Slate, it comes from the Root Wellness brand, and all it is it is a mineral. Well, Root likes to call it a silica supplement, which is incredible. You don't really have great silica supplements out there. But what it does is it traps contamination in the body at a very small particle size. We're talking even nano-sized particles that this solution, this mineral, is able to trap and then safely usher it out of the body through the sweat and the urine. Now, this is very important. You cannot use Clean Slate while you're dry fasting because it requires a large amount of water. You want to be drinking a lot of water when you take it. However, it'll be perfectly paired during your prep and also when you are refeeding in between your fasting cycle. So the fasting cycle is going to be 4 days of dry fasting, 3 days of eating. Now, out of the 3 days of eating, you all can have cooked food one day. So the way it's going to work is you're going to do your dry fast. You're going to break your dry fast with water. You always break your dry fast with water. So on day, you're gonna fast for 4 days. On day 5, you're gonna have just water. You can also have some fruit juice or maybe even some herbal tea on that day, right? And that's going to be day 1 of your refeed. On day 2 of your refeed, if you all want to do some cooked food, I don't recommend it, but if you want to do cooked food, that would be the day to do it if you're going to continue doing this cycle. And that way it gives your body a little bit of time to get back into preparation mode on day 3 of your refeed. So day 1 of your refeed, you're going to do water and fruit juice, maybe some herbal teas. You could do like a vegetable broth. You want to make sure that you are doing sips. You're sipping your water. You're sipping your water slowly, okay? And if you're going to have a juice or herbal tea or like a vegetable broth, that will be later in the evening. But the first majority of the day, you're just going to be doing water. So we're going to do our dry fast. We're going to break it with water. Primarily throughout the day, we're going to be doing water. We're going to sip it slowly, sip it very slowly. We're going to have a little bit of juice in the evening if we want it. You don't need it. You don't have to have it. You can have a little bit of broth. You can have, a little bit of herbal tea in the evening if you want it. And then on day 2 of your refeed, you can have you're going to really do either raw food, or if you want to have a cooked meal, you would do it on that day. And I would keep that to a minimum. You don't want to eat a lot of cooked food. And then on day 3, you would be doing raw again, okay? So, and the reason why I'm giving you guys the option to do cooked food on day 2, I typically would not recommend it, but I'm giving you guys an option in case you need it, because this is going to be a cycle that we're going to be doing over the course of 4 weeks. So I want you guys to have some options to help keep you satiated, keep you engaged, and just give you a little bit of a relaxation. I would not, if you're going to do this, you're going to take this seriously, do not lean on this all the time. Use it kind of like as a emergency type thing, right? You just need something different because you've been doing it for a while now and you're starting to, get tired of it. So that's the reason why I've included the cooked food. So you're going to do your 3 days refeed, and then you're going to go back into your dry fasting. Make sure during the refeed days you are still doing your gallon of water. If you guys do any juice during your refeed days, it can count towards your gallon of water. So for example, if you do half a gallon of water, half a gallon of juice, that's a full gallon. That's fine, okay, for that day. So just keep that in mind. You want to do a total of 1 gallon of liquid each day on your refeed. And that's going to make sure that you have the resources you need to go right back into your dry fast If at any point during your dry fasting you feel that your mouth is getting extremely dry and you feel like you need to moisten your mouth, then I would say it's okay to go ahead and break your dry fast at that point. However, most of the time, if you're doing everything properly, you should notice that your mouth is very moist when you're doing your dry fasting. So you shouldn't really have to worry about that. But you may experience that throughout this process, so I want to make sure to touch on that. Now, you're going to do your week of prep. You're going to do your caster pack and your clean slate during that week. You're going to start your dry fast. You're going to not do your caster pack, not going to do your clean slate for those next 4 days or that 96 hours of dry. Then you're going to start your refeed. You're going to start doing your water again. You can have your clean slate. You can start doing your caster pack overnight again. And then when you go back into your dry fasting, you're going to stop doing the caster pack, stop doing the clean slate at that time. Okay. So, by the way, links will be in the description box comment section for clean slate as well as the caster packs. AHA offers a caster pack that comes with the oil, the castor oil and everything that you need. If you guys decide to go to an alternative source, make sure that the castor oil you're using is hexane free and it comes in a glass bottle. The quality of the oil means everything. If you get the wrong kind of oil, then you'd be imparting whatever is extra is in that oil, you'd be imparting it in your system, and it would not be nearly as beneficial. Okay, so make sure that you're getting hexane-free castor oil in a glass bottle. Okay, so that is pretty much the process. You're going to do your prep week, and then you're going to do 4 weeks of your cycle. Okay, the DR96 or the dry rolling 96-hour fast. If you are consistent with this process and you are 100 pounds or greater, the chances of you being able to lose 53 pounds or more is very, very high. It's very high. If you are a little smaller, maybe you don't have as much weight to lose, the chances of you losing more weight than you've ever lost in a month is very, very high. If you do not have 53 pounds to lose, maybe you've only got 20 pounds to lose, or whatever the case may be, you can make an alteration to your process once you've hit whatever weight loss goal that you have in mind. But I could tell you, if you have less than probably 50 or 60 pounds that you're looking to lose, 1 month is all it's going to take. You're going to knock it out, and it'll be smooth sailing from there. Once you guys are finished with getting to whatever weight loss goal you want, I'm going to divert you over to our community, ahacommunities.com. It's www.ahacommunities.com. That way you guys can be supported, and we can teach you how to maintain the weight loss that you have just gotten. Also, I would say be prepared for anything that you might experience on this particular challenge outside of weight loss. A lot of people are going to be focused on the weight loss, but look at the mental, right? Look at how you interact in your environment. Look at your thoughts. I want you guys to look at, maybe your connection with God or your whoever you might believe in, whatever your faith is. I want you to focus on those aspects as well. They're called NSA or non-scale victories, because you'd be surprised at what dry fasting can do. Your dreams and your emotion and your motivation. I want you guys to hone in on other elements of yourself that may improve during this process, because I could tell you that weight loss is probably going to be the icing on the cake. You guys might experience old injuries being permanently healed for the first time. You might experience, you might get a flare up on your skin. Maybe you have psoriasis or eczema or whatever, and it'd be the last one you ever get because your body is finally permanently eliminating that issue. Okay, so those are some things that you can be prepared for, because when you start doing this challenge, you're going to experience a lot of detox symptoms along with this process. Those detox symptoms are going to be associated with different levels of healing that are happening in your body. If you guys are experiencing headaches, if you're experiencing drowsiness, very, very tired, you can also experience extra energy. You can experience chills. You can experience a lot of mucus being expelled from the body. The list goes on and on. All right. I would encourage you guys to check out my video. I've got a video talking specifically about fasting detox symptoms, and this will give you a good idea of what are some of the things that you can experience while you're actually going through this process. But understand that all of these different things you may experience are also going to be tied to some form of healing that you're experiencing in your body as well. So it's kind of like the more detox symptoms you experience, the better when it comes to like the different things you're going to experience as far as healing goes. Also, you can experience emotional healing and mental healing if you guys have trauma in your past, especially if you have trauma and things you've experienced that you don't remember anymore, which is very common. The body will go through a detox process and you might experience extreme emotions like crying or sadness or even happiness. And if you are experiencing that during this month of weight loss, it's probably because you are having an emotional detox, which is also a good thing. It's just one of those things that you need to understand and be prepared for. If this video was helpful, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power, and we will see you all next time.